Hello, good afternoon, guys. So today we are going to talk about switching. So in the last lecture, we already talked about what is ACL, what is NAT. So moving on to our next topic, that is switching. So today we are going to talk about all the topics related to the switching, like what is switch, how switch will work, what are the different kind of protocols that we use inside the switch. So we are going to talk about all these points. Okay. So basically, when we talk about switching, that means we are talking about the layer 2 technologies. Switching means we are talking about layer 2 technologies. So layer 2 technologies means that I'm talking about data link layer. So if you talk about data link layer, the device that is working over here is switch. So previously we have a bridges, but now bridges are no more in business. They are out of business. So they are upgraded and they have a new device that's called switch. So what is the functionality of the switches? To provide communication between same network. Okay. So just assume like in your organization, you have a multiple PCs and these PCs wants to communicate with each other. So what you can do, you can simply place a switch in between, and with the help of that switch, they are able to communicate with each other. So like this particular PC having IP address of 10.1, this is having IP address of 10.2, this is having IP address of 10.3, this is like 10.1.1.4, and this is 10.1.1.5. So like if these PC wants to communicate with each other, so we need a device switch. So with the help of switch, we are able to communicate with each other. In the same manner, in the last section of our routing, we have seen that if we have a different subnets, if we have a different networks or different uh, VLANs also, we will later on talk about what is VLAN. So if we want to make communication between different networks, so that we are using router over there. But here we are talking about to make communication between same network. So we are using switch over here. So this is a symbol of a switch. These are PCs. Okay. So if you talk about like how physically they look like, let me show you directly on the website. So go to the Cisco website directly, and there you are having a proper images and proper series of switches available nowadays. So go to cisco.com. So okay, so wait for a while. Okay, go to the products. Inside products, we have a like switches, wireless, routers. Click on switches. So here you can see, here we have a big series of switches over here. Like these are the LAN switches. So we have a Catalyst 9400, Catalyst 9300, Catalyst 9200, Catalyst 1000 series, Meraki MS series, Catalyst PON series. Okay. In the same manner over here, these are the LAN compact, small flexible switches go where others can't. Okay. So like Catalyst 1000 series, Catalyst micro switches, Catalyst digital building services series, Catalyst 3560 CX series, Meraki MS 120-8, LAN core and distribution switches like Catalyst 9600, 9500, 9400, Meraki MS 4000. Then these are the data center switches. You can see. Okay. Then Nexus 9000, Nexus 3000, 3550 series, MDS series. Then Here we have some industrial switches, Cisco IE5000, Cisco IE4000 Catalyst, IE3400 heavy duty series Catalyst, IE3400 rug series, and these are small business switches. So where we have a Cisco 250 series, Cisco Business 350 series, Cisco Business 110 series, Cisco Catalyst 1000 series. So here we have some list of the switches that is available inside the Cisco portfolio. Right. So like in the routing section, we have seen like what are the different modes of a router, how actually router look like in a physical manner, and what are the inside the router. So first we are going to talk about all these things in the switches as well, right? So first we are going to talk about the physical hardware of a switch. Then we are going to talk about what are the things available inside it. So what is the operating system, what are different kind of ports available. So we are going to talk about all those points. So if you talk about like how physically device look like, so it is very much look like a router. Okay, so I have already shown you the router, like it is a rectangular box. So one having a front panel, one having a back panel. The same thing is over here. So in the switches also we have a front panel, back panel. In front panel we have just a branding, and the back panel we have a ports available inside. So we are going to talk about what are the different kind of ports available inside the switches. So like router, we have a Ethernet port. So let me just properly write down over here. Okay, types of ports available in switches. So in switches, we have a multiple type of ports. So like Ethernet port, we have like fast Ethernet, and we have a gig Ethernet. Or maybe if it is having a very high series and series, they have a terabyte port also. Okay, but normally you will find Ethernet port, which is of like 10 Mbps capacity, fast Ethernet, which is of like 100 Mbps capacity, and gig Ethernet, which is of 1000 Mbps of capacity. Okay, apart from that, they can also have a fiber connectivity also. So they have a fiber ports also. Okay, so maybe in the switches, fiber port is also available. In the same manner, like for remote access or like for access of a device, we have a console port over here. So we have a properly console port available. With the help of that, we can access the switch. Okay, apart from that, there's nothing available inside. There is no concept of a serial port over here. So you will not find serial port, auxiliary port in switches. Okay. If you talk about the operating system, okay, if you talk about the operating system of a switch, operating system of a switch. So inside switch, we have a CAT OS, which is called Catalyst OS. Okay, which is called Catalyst OS. So that operating system resides in flash memory. So in switches, that operating system that we have is reside in a flash memory. In the same manner, if you talk about memory of a switch, so if you talk about the memories of a switch, so we have a running configuration, so running configuration stored in RAM. If you talk about startup configuration, that startup configuration stored in NVRAM. And if you talk about your operating system, or you can say CAT OS, that CAT OS resides in flash memory. Okay, so that Catalyst operating system resides in a flash memory. So we have a similar kind of a memory that we have available inside the router as well. So switches also having a similar kind of a memories. Okay, if you talk about the modes of switches, so what are the different kind of a modes available inside the switch? So the first one is console mode. Second is privilege. And third one is global config mode. Okay, so exactly if you compare with the router also having these three kinds of a mode: console mode, privilege mode, and global configuration mode. So if you talk about console mode, it will look like this: the switch and with a greater than sign. Then in a privilege, we have a switch with hash. And in a global configuration mode, we have switch with config in bracket, config hash. So if you want to make any kind of a configuration, if you want to run any kind of a protocol, so first you have to go to the global configuration mode, then you are allowed to make any changes in that. In privileges mode, like you are allowed to make any kind of a read-only things. So you can run show command over here, you can check the version and all those things. Like you are doing in a router, you are doing the same thing in switches as well. In console mode, you are allowed to execute very few commands over here. Okay, so let's quickly move on to our packet tracer. Then I'll show you all those things. So this is our packet tracer. Just check the bottom. So I have selected the network devices. In network devices, we have routers, we have switches. So you can see here we have a long list of switches available. So like I'm selecting the first one. Just click on that. So it is saying device is still booting. Please wait until it is finished. Okay, now you can see the device is still booting and press enter. See. So when the device turned on, you will get a screen like this. Then you have to say enable, then you have to say config. If you want to go back, just exit, exit. If you want to go forward, enable, then you have to say conf t. If you want to change the host name, is w1, right? Okay, so you start with the configuration. Like in routers, we have studied first thing that how to define passwords on that, how to define console password, how to define telnet password, how to define line VTY password or something. So let's start with that. So start with the console password. Console password. So the command is line console 0. Password is like Cisco at 123. Then you have to say login. Exit, again exit, press enter, and you can see now it is asking for a password. That what is your password for the console? So the console password is Cisco at 123. And you can see I'm getting the access. Then enable. If you want to define the enable password, so you can write it like enable secret Cisco at 1234. Again, exit, exit. Now it is asking for the password. Password is Cisco at 123. Enable Cisco at 1234. You can see we have defined both the password, the enable password, as well as the console password. So if you want to remove both the passwords, what you have to do? First, I'm talking about the console. So line console 0. Then you have to say no password. Enter. That's it. If you want to remove the secret password, so you have to say no enable secret Cisco at 1234. Or you don't have to mention the password, no enable secret. Let's verify, enable, sorry, exit, exit. See, this time it is not asking any password. Enable conft. If you exit again, it's not asking for any password or something. So you have to say enable conft. Okay, so this is how we define the passwords on our switches. If you want to define host name, just use host name. Then you can say like edge switch. You can see the host name is changed. So the things are very much similar like routers, but in case of switches, we are not having IP addresses over here. We have only a MAC addresses over here. So switch prepares a table called MAC address table. So like if you have a multiple devices, let me show you. So just assume like this is switch 1 and connect multiple devices. So I'm connecting 4 devices with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just define the IP addresses to the end devices. So click on the PC. Then you have to click on desktop and define the IP 10.111.255.255.0. Default address is not required. 10.112.255.255.0. Desktop, then you have to say like 10.113.255.255.0. 10.114 255.255.255.0. Okay, now this is our switch. Go to the privilege mode, execute the command, show MAC address table, and you can see there's a one MAC address learned which is on port number F0/4. So that is a property of a switch. So the property of a switch is like if you connect with any particular switch, it will automatically learns your MAC address. So like if you connect any server, if you any kind of a PC, any kind of a router device, any kind of a switch device, it automatically learns the MAC address of and places that inside the MAC address table. Okay. So that is a default behavior of it. So switch automatically learns the MAC address. So let me just do one thing, go to the command prompt and ping all the device like 10.1.1.2, 10.1.1.3 and 10.1.1.4. And you can see now we have all the MAC addresses of the end device. If you want to verify, you can verify also. So like this is port number F0 by 1, go to PC0, desktop, command prompt and say IP config / all. And here you can see the physical address. What my physical address is? In starting is 000B and in end we have 7E6A. Now compare it with the MAC address table. It's 000B and in the end we have 7E6A. That means exactly the MAC address of the end device. Okay, so like if you talk about in terms of router, we maintain the routing table. In terms of switches, we maintain the MAC address table. And how can you check this MAC address table? So show MAC address table, enter. So you can see all these entries over here. Okay, one more thing. This entry will be available till 5 minutes, or you can say till 300 seconds. After 300 seconds, all these entry will be removed. Why? Because they are in an idle state. Idle means they are not communicating with each other. So they are still in an idle state. So if switch found any entry as an idle entry, it will wait for 300 seconds and after 300 seconds, it will automatically remove that entry from the MAC address table. And you can see that all these entries are dynamic in nature. And dynamic in nature means that we have learned these things at runtime. They are not permanent in the table. So after 5 minutes, all these entries will be removed. Now you have to relearn all the entries. Okay. So I'm going to do some manual entries so that I can show you the difference in between. So how can you manually entry any MAC address inside the MAC address table of a switch? So let me write it like manual entry. How to do manual entry? You have to say MAC address table static because we are doing the static. So what is my static MAC address? It's like 0.001.2.000.3 VLAN 1 interface like E0 by 0. Okay, so we don't have a E0 by 0 interface. We can write it like F0 by 1. Okay, do show MAC address. Now you can see. So in my table, we have a two type of entries. One is the static one and one is the dynamic one. What is the difference between? Like I said, dynamic entries automatically delete from the MAC address table after the completion of 5 minutes. In 300 seconds, or you can say MAC address table, or you can say switch refresh its MAC address table in every 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, dynamic entry will be removed. But there's another entry with the static type. So that remain inside the MAC address table, whether it becomes the 5 minutes, 500 minutes, or any time. So if your device is turned on, definitely there will be a static entry inside your MAC address table. Okay, so in the same manner, you can add any entry inside the any number of entry inside the MAC address table. Okay. So you can adjust that aging time also. The switches MAC address aging time is 300 seconds. So if you want to change, you can manipulate that aging time. You can reduce it, you can increase it. That is up to your requirement. Okay, so this is about the introduction of your switch device. So like in the same in RIP protocol or in the routing section, we have talked about multiple types of routing. Like we talked about the static routing, we talked about the RIP routing, we talked about OSPF, we talked about like NAT, we talked about ACL. So all these are the routing things. Now we are going to talk about in switching. So what are the things we are going to learn? The first topic of a switching is VLAN. It's very important. Okay, it's very important. So the first topic that we are going to talk about is VLAN, which is called Virtual Local Area Network. Virtual local area networks. So like why we are having virtual local area network? So if you talk about the technical definition about it, the technical definition is okay, to divide broadcast domain. Okay, so what is the meaning of this to divide broadcast domain? Okay, so let me tell you the complete story, how actually switch will work. So just assume this is like 48 port switch. Okay, it's a 48 port switch, and you have some departments in your switch connected with your switch. Like in your organization, you have a multiple departments. Like one department is the IT department. Like these three members is from IT department. These three members is from sales department. These three members is from like management department, and these three members is from production department. Okay, so all these PCs, so like this is sales, this is like management, this is like IT, and this is like production. So we have a multiple departments in an organization. Okay, so like all these PCs are able to communicate with each other because they are part of a same subnet and they are sharing the same IP addresses. So they are sharing the same IP address from the same subnet. So they are easily able to communicate with each other. So like this is like 10.1, this is like 10.2, this is like 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, 10.6, 10.7, 10.8, 10.9, 10.10, 11, 12, 13. So we have a different devices over here. Okay. So just assume there's a guy, this PC1 generate a broadcast packet. So this is a broadcast packet. Okay, and that packet forwarded to the switch. Now what switch will do, because he received the request on this particular port, it will forward this packet to all the users connected with this particular switch. So your switch will broadcast it to all of them. So your switch is broadcasting that packet. So it is broadcasting that particular packet to all the users which are part of that particular domain. In the same manner, like there's another PC in the management domain, they also generate a broadcast. Again, that broadcast forwarded to the interface. And now switch will forward them to all the users inside the domain. So that means we have an unnecessary broadcasting on a switch. So we have to stop this unnecessary broadcasting. We don't want unnecessary broadcasting in our switch. So that's why we are using the concept of a virtual LAN. That's why in the starting, I have mentioned to divide the broadcast domain. So by default, switch is a single broadcast domain. So by default, switch is a single broadcast domain. So why it is called a single broadcast domain? Because all ports are a member of a VLAN 1. So all ports, like switch having like 48 ports, which is having like 32 ports. So all these ports belongs to VLAN number 1. That's why if you forward any information, it will forward it to the all of the members of that particular domain. So if you are a member of a VLAN 1, so it will forward the information to the all VLAN 1 users. Right? So I think you properly understand this particular issue in on a switch, that we are having unnecessary broadcasting. And to avoid this broadcasting, we are using the concept of a virtual LAN. Okay, so if you talk about by default, so by default on a switch, we have a single VLAN and all ports are member of VLAN 1. So all ports are member of a VLAN 1. Let me show you. So this is our switch CLI. Then you have to say show VLAN brief. This is a command to check number of VLANs. So you can see I didn't configure anything. I have made the configuration, but that is for the different purpose. So you can see we have VLAN 1, which is called default VLAN, and in my switch we have 24 ports and 2 GB port. So we have 24 fast Ethernet port and 2 GB port, and all belongs to VLAN 1. So that's why if you forward any information in VLAN 1, it will forward it to all the end users. Okay, so if like anybody asks you like what is VLAN, why we are having VLAN, to logically divide the broadcast domain in a, so with the help of VLAN, our switch will be divided into 2 different switches, logically, not physically, logically. The switch logically divide the VLAN divide the switch into two logical parts or more than two. So if we talk about in the live scenario in the production network, we maximum time we use the concept of a VLAN. Okay, so VLAN is used on a wide scale. Okay, now next is, let's talk about virtual LAN. So we are talking about like what is the range for the, so if you talk about VLAN ID, so VLAN ID is of like 12-bit long. So VLAN ID is of 12-bit long. So range for the VLAN is from 0 to 4095, because if it is a 12-bit long, so if 2 raised to power 12 is 4096, and the number range starts from 0 and end with 4095. This is the range. Now this particular range is divided into two parts, or just wait for a while. In this particular range, like if you talk about VLAN 0 and VLAN 4095 is not in use. So they are not in use. We are not using VLAN 0 and 4095. They are used for some internal purpose. So the available VLAN ranges, so my available VLAN range is from 1 to 4094. That is the available range. Okay. Now this available range is divided into two parts. Standard and extended. Okay. Standard ranges from 1 to 1005. Extended ranges from 1006 to 4094. Okay. Again, if you talk about standard VLAN, again it is divided into two parts. The reserved category, reserved VLANs, and unreserved VLANs. Unreserved VLANs. So reserved VLANs ranges from VLAN 1, which is called default VLAN, which is by default present inside the switches. Then VLAN 1002, VLAN 1003, and VLAN 1004 and VLAN 1005. So all these VLANs are the reserved VLANs. They are all automatically reserved for some specific kind of a technology. So VLAN 1 is a default VLAN. Rest 2, 3, 4, 5, they are reserved for some specific technologies. Okay. If you talk about unreserved VLANs, the ranges is from 1006 to 4094. But there is a condition to use. I'm so sorry. So if you talk about unreserved VLAN, which is from VLAN 2 to 1001. So this is totally unreserved. You are allowed to use any number of the VLANs in between this particular range. So you are allowed to create any kind of a VLAN between 2 to 1001. They are not reserved. Okay. Okay. If you talk about the extended VLANs, so if you want to use extended VLANs, so first you have to fulfill some conditions. So there are certain conditions that you have to fulfill if you want to use extended VLANs. So normally our switch support only the extended one, but if you want standard one, if you want to use extended one, you have to fulfill some requirement. What are the requirements? The first one is you have to use VTP version 3. So what is VTP? Later on we talk about that. We have a VTP in our syllabus also. So later on we talk about what is VTP. So first you have to understand the concept of VTP version 3. If you are not using VTP version 3, you are using VTP version 2. So like if you are using VTP version 2, then use VTP transparent mode. So if you are using VTP version 2, then you have to use VTP transparent mode to use extended VLANs. Okay, so this is complete information about the VLANs. So we have a range between 0 to 4094. Then it is divided into two parts, standard and extended. Then standard having range from 1 to 1005 is also having some reserve category and unreserved category. Inside unreserved category, we have ranges from 2 to 1001. If you want to use extended range, in that case, you have to use VTP version 3. If you are not using VTP version 3, or if you are using VTP version 2, then you have to use a transparent mode to take benefit of an extended range. And later on, we talk about what is like VTP and what is their transparent mode. Okay. Next is how to define VLANs on a switch. So how to define VLAN on switches. So what you have to do, you have to go to global configuration mode. Then you have to say VLAN. Okay, so the keyword is VLAN. After VLAN, you have to mention the VLAN ID. For an example, like you have to say VLAN 10. That means he wants to create VLAN 10 on your switch. Then you can say enter. If you want to define any name to this particular VLAN, you can use name keyword also. So like your name is like test 1. So VLAN 10 logical name is test 1. Okay. In the same manner, if you want to create multiple VLANs, you can use like config hash. You can say VLAN 1 to 10. So if you are using hyphen keyword, that means it will automatically create all these VLANs between 1 to 10. If you say like I want to configure some selected VLANs, then how we define selected VLANs? So in that case, you can say like VLAN 5, 11, 19, 22, 28, 35, and like 37. So if you want to configure some selected VLANs, so you can use comma in between. Okay. So how to verify? So how can you verify that VLANs has been configured or not. So you can verify it with the help of, like, go to the privilege mode and type show VLAN brief. It's show VLAN brief. So with the help of that command, it will show you how many VLANs are there and VLANs are configured or not, and it will show you a complete picture of that. Okay, so let's move on to the switch. Click on the switch, CLI, enable conf t, go to the privilege mode and say show VLAN brief. If you do show VLAN brief, you can see over here. So like VLAN 1 is a default VLAN and all ports are a member of a default VLAN. Then 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, they are reserved for all these technologies. They are reserved for like FDDI default, token ring default, FDDI net default, TRNet default. So these VLANs are pre-reserved for these particular technologies. Right? If you want to create any new VLAN, so you can type it like VLAN 15, enter name. Like I said, test 1 exit show VLAN brief. So you can see over here, I have configured a VLAN with the name of test 1. Okay, the VLAN number is 15. In the same manner, if you want to create multiple VLANs, you can create it like a VLAN 1 to 10. Okay, but the hyphen keyword doesn't work inside this packet tracer. So if you want to use hyphen keyword, in that case, you have to work it on a real device, or you can work it on a Eve machine. But here hyphen will not work. Okay, you can see invalid input detected, but you can configure it like that. Okay, in the same manner, if you have like any other VLAN, any other VLANs you want to create, or you can say like selected VLANs you want to configure. So you have to say VLAN 5, 11, 19, 25, 30. Again, it is saying invalid, but in real device, it will work. Definitely, it will work. So in this manner, you are allowed to create VLANs. Okay. Now, do show VLAN brief. So you can see over here that all ports, so like this switch having 24 ports and 2 gigabyte port, so they all belongs to VLAN 1. So like my requirement is I want to allocate F0 by 1 to VLAN number 15. So how we define interface F0 by 1 switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 10, enter exit, or sorry, or you can say like F0 by 1 switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 15. Show VLAN brief. So now you can see there's a port allocated to VLAN number 15. Okay, now you can see F0 by 1 is a member of a test 1. It's not a member of a default VLAN. In the same manner, if you want to assign multiple ports, you can select F0 by 1, 2, 3. So you have to use a range keyword. Interface range F0 by 1, 2, 3. Then you have to say switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN. Now I'm going to assign it to 10. Exit show VLAN brief. So now you can see VLAN 10 having all the ports F0 by 1, F0 by 2, and F0 by 3. Okay. So let me just write down over here. So how to allocate port to a VLAN. So how to allocate ports to a VLAN. So how to allocate ports to a VLAN. So again, like switch config. Okay. Then you have to say like interface range. What is my range? Like F0 by 1 to 3. So I'm talking about like F0 by 1, F0 by 2, and F0 by 3. Then you have to say like switch port mode access. Then you have to say like switch port access VLAN. ओके तो किस VLAN को आप देना चाहते हैं? आपने कहा VLAN 15 को. So now all these ports are member of VLAN 15. Okay. One more thing which is very important to remember. So by default, one port is a member of one port is a member of one VLAN. So it cannot be possible that one port can be a member of a two different VLANs. That is practically not possible. So a single port can be a member of a single VLAN. If it will be, it can be. So like over here, like F0 by 1, 2, 3, they belongs to port VLAN 15. Now these ports are not allowed to allocate to any other one. Okay, so let's do all these practicals. Okay, I think I have already shown you all these things. Yeah. So I think I wish you are getting all these things. If not, you can ask your question via text, or you can ping me on WhatsApp or somewhere. So you can ask if you have any kind of a question. Okay. One more thing. Two different VLANs are not able to communicate with each other. So again, this is your first point. This is the second point is so by default, two different VLANs are not able to communicate with each other. So by default, two different VLANs are not able to communicate with each other. So what is the meaning of that? So just assume like this is your switch, and in your switch you have a members of two VLANs. So like this is 10.1.1.2 This is like 10.1.1.3. But this particular port is a member of a like VLAN 20, and this port having a member of like VLAN 30. So these two PCs, these two VLANs are not able to communicate with each other by default. So if I'm saying like by default, that means by default it is not possible. But if you want, you can make communication between them. So that communication is allowed, but by default it is not allowed. Okay. Okay, let's do this practical. Let me show you in a practical manner. So what I'm going to do, so you can see this is my topology. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 ports over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create 2 different VLANs, and all these PCs having IP addresses. Let me just write down the IPs over here: 10.1.1.1/24. This one is having 10.1.1.2/24. This is like 10.1.1.3/24, and this is like 10.1.1.4/24. Okay, so first thing that you have to do, show VLAN brief. Okay, one more thing, like if you want to delete VLANs, so how can you delete with those VLANs? You have to say no VLAN like 10. Now VLAN 10 is removed. No VLAN 15. But if you try to delete VLAN 15, sorry, VLAN 1, it will not be deleted. So VLAN 1 is a default VLAN, so we can't delete those VLANs. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to configure according to this topology. One more thing, like this is VLAN 10, and this is like VLAN 20. Okay, so you have to say first create VLAN 10, 20. Okay, comma is not working, so we have to say VLAN 10 exit, then you have to say VLAN 20 exit. Okay, now interface range, because I'm allocating multiple ports, that's why I'm using a range keyword over here. So interface range F0 by 1 to 2. Switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN. What's my VLAN? 10. Enter to write. In the same manner, interface range F0 by 3 to 4. Switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Exit and do write. Do show VLAN brief. So you can see over here, you can see we have two VLANs, VLAN 10, VLAN 20. F0 by 1 is a part of VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to communicate between them, to establish communication between them. So first I'm going to ping the same VLAN number. See, I'm getting reply from 10.1.1.2, but try to communicate with 3. See, you are not getting any reply from 10.1.1.3. Why? Because now 10.1.1.3 is a member of a different VLAN. In the same manner, if you want to try to communicate with 4, it will not communicate with 4 also. In the same manner, let's verify one more time. We are at PC number 3. Try to communicate with PC 0. Close command prompt. You have to say ping 10.1.1.1. See, it's not working. Again, if you say like 10.1.1.4, so it is pinging. Why? Because 10.1.1.4 is a member of a same VLAN. So they are able to communicate with each other. Okay. So again, my point is proved that two different VLANs are not able to communicate with each other by default. One more point I want to add into it, and it is very important for the interview point of view. So like so by default, VLAN information stored in file called VLAN.dat. So your VLAN information is stored in a file called VLAN.dat, and VLAN.dat file is stored in flash memory. It is stored in a flash memory. Let me show you. So what you have to do, you have to say show flash, and you can see in flash we have a 3 files. The first one is, which is a 4670455 of size. So that is 2960 LAN base K9 MZ.150 2.sc 4.bin. So .bin is a operating system file. Okay. Second is configuration.txt file, and the third one is VLAN.dat file. So all VLAN information, all VLAN related information stored in a VLAN.dat file. So if you don't believe me, guys, so what I'm going to do, I'm just taking a fresh switch. So like this is a newly switch. Click over here. Just wait for a while. It is saying. So in this switch, I didn't configure anything. Enable conf or go to play, and you have to type show flash. So you can see there's only one file over here. There's no VLAN.dat file, but host name is like SW1, and like you have to say VLAN 10, VLAN 20 exit do write do show VLAN brief. So you can see I have configured two VLANs over here, 10 and 20. Now do show flash. Now you can see. So there's a config file also, because I have saved the configuration, and there's a VLAN.dat file also. So if you want to delete the entries of the VLAN, so what you can do, you can simply dot the simply delete the VLAN.dat file from the switch. So all your switch information will be removed. Okay, so I was thinking that you guys are comfortable with all these topics. I have mentioned all the topics related to the VLAN. I have mentioned that two different VLANs are not able to communicate with each other. Each and everything I have discussed with you. Now the question is, like, are two VLANs able to communicate with each other? Like, if you want, like, two VLANs are able to communicate, then how we do all these things? Because if you talk about in the perspective of a organization, okay, so like there one department is the IT department, and another one is the HR department. So if you define the VLAN, so they both are not able to communicate with each other. But if you talk about the live scenario, that exactly not happen in the live scenario. So here we have to establish, we have to create communication between them. Okay. So whenever when we talk about to make communication between two different VLANs, we require a layer 3 device. Okay. So I'm just mention this thing over here. So if you want to establish, communication between different VLANs, we have to use a layer 3 device. So when you talk about layer 3 device, it can be a router or it can be a layer 3 switch also. You can use as a layer 3 switch, or you can also use, or you can say this layer 3 switch is also called multi-layer switch. So later on we talk about this particular device also, that what is layer 3 switch. So this particular switch having a functionality of both the routers as well as the switch. So it will perform, it will maintain routing table. Along with the routing table, it will maintain the MAC address table as well. So if you want to establish communication between two different VLANs, you have to use router, or you can use a layer 3 switch. So we'll see both the scenarios where we have to use like layer 3 switch and where we have to use a router. So the first scenario that I'm going to talk about is with the help of router. So now I'm going to discuss a new topic, which is very important and very like common in the organization, enterprise network, or any kind of a network. So I'm going to talk about like inter VLAN routing. So we are going to talk about inter VLAN routing. So our first method is router on a stick. Router on a stick. Router on a stick. So what is the meaning of a router on a stick? So like this is our router, and that router is connected with a switch. Okay, and that switch having multiple VLANs over here. So like 10.1.1.1, here we have 10.1.1.2. In the same manner, in a different VLAN, I'm going to use a different IP address. instead of same subnet, I'm going to use a different subnet. So you can like 10.1.2.1, 10.1.2.2. Okay, so like this is VLAN 10, this is like VLAN 20. So VLAN 10 having a default gateway of 10.1.1.100 and VLAN 20 having a VLAN gateway of 10.1.2.100. So here we have a two different VLANs. That's why we have a two different gateways for them. Okay, so this is a topology that I'm going to talk about for regarding inter-VLAN routing. So I'm going to establish a new topology. So just take any router. So I'm going to take 2911. Okay, then I need a switch, and with that switch we have to connect 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to connect 4 PCs over here. Right. So PC4, I'm going to define the IP address 10.1.1.1, 255, 255.0, and my gateway is 10.1.1.100. In the same manner over here, like 10.1.1.2, 255, 255, 255.0, 10.1.1.100. In the same manner, desktop 10.1.2.1, 10.1.2.1, 285, 285, 285.0, 10.1.2.100. Ten dot 100, 10.1.2.2, 285, 285, 285.0, 10.1.2.100. Okay, so these are my IP address that I have defined. So let me just mention those IP addresses over here. So like this is 10.1.1.1/24, and my default gateway is 10.1.1.100. Same over here, like 10.1.2/24, then default gateway of 10.1.1.100. Same over here, PC, I think this is 2 and I think this is 1. Yes. So this is 10.1.2.1/24, enter default gateway of 10.1.2.100. In the same manner over here, 10.1.2.10.1.2.2/24, default gateway of like 10.1.2.100. So I have used these IPs on the different VLANs. So this is like VLAN 10. This would be like VLAN 20. Okay. So let's move on to the switch. First, configure the basic configuration. So enable conft hostname sw1. So we have to create VLAN 10, enter, exit, VLAN 20, enter, exit. Then you have to say interface range F0 by 1 to 2, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10, exit, interface range F0 by 3 to 4, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20, exit, and do right. Okay, so the basic configuration we done with the basic configuration. That first we have to define the VLANs, then we have to define the ports, and let's verify all those configuration. Show VLAN brief, enter. So here you can see. So we have VLAN 0010, F0 by 1, F0 by 2. We have two VLANs and all IPs are all there. Okay. So let me just need a pen. Now here we have to understand few things. So like F0 by 1, F0 by 2, F0 by 1 and F0 by 2. They are member of VLAN 10. In the same manner, F0 by 3 and F0 by 4, they are member of VLAN 20, right? These two member of VLAN 10, these two are member of VLAN 20. Exactly. Now, I'm talking about F0 by 5. So F0 by 5 is a member of which VLAN? So if you configure F0 by 5 as a member of a VLAN 10, it will carry only VLAN 10 information. It will not carry VLAN 20 information. If you configure F0 by 5 as a VLAN 20 member, so it will carry only VLAN 20 information. It will not carry VLAN 10 information. But in our case, we have to send both information from VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 towards the router. So how we configure, what kind of a configuration we have to do it over here? So we have to configure this link as a trunk link. Trunk port. We have to configure F0 by 5 as a trunk port. Now the question is, what is trunk port? Let's discuss trunk port first, then we move further. So if you talk about this particular point, I'm going to configure this one as a trunk. So if you talk about port types, so we have a two type of a port types. The first one is trunk one. Another one is access. So access is a single VLAN carrier. Single VLAN carrier. So if you talk about access port will carry only VLAN, single VLAN information. It will not carry multiple VLANs information. So you remember when I do the configuration of a VLAN 10 and 20, I always first I have mentioned switch port mode access. So that means these two ports are access port, these two ports are access port. It will carry only their configured VLAN information only. But if you want to carry multiple VLAN information, you have to configure your port as a trunk port. So trunk port is a port which will carry multiple VLAN information. It's a multiple VLAN information carrier. So if you want via that particular port, multiple VLAN information will be forwarded. So you have to configure that particular link as a trunk link. Okay. Now, how to define the trunk link? So move on to the switch, select the interface. So you have to say interface F0 by 5 switch port mode trunk, not access. So now trunk has been configured. Why there is no activity? Because it is connected with the router and the router interface is shut down. So when you just up the interface, it will automatically come up and the trunk will also up. Now, till switch, we have done each and everything. Now we have to move to the router. So enable conft host name router number 1. Now again we have a new problem over here. So you can see we have a two different VLANs. We have a two different VLANs, 10 and 20. 10 having a different subnet, 20 having a different subnet. Both their gateway is different. So VLAN 10 having a gateway of 10.1.1.100 and VLAN 20 having a gateway of 10.1.2.100. But here we have only one port, which is gig 0 by 0. So now the question is, on one physical port, how we configure the two multiple IPs? How we configure the two logical IPs over there? One for VLAN 10 and one for VLAN 20. Okay, so the solution is we can split this physical interface into smaller chunks. On those chunks called sub interface. So we can split this gig 0 by 0 in small part, which is called sub interface. Gig 0 by 0.10, gig 0 by 0.20. So this is called sub interface. Okay, so like in the beginning, we have studied a different kind of a ports available inside a router. So out of those, one is sub interface also. Okay, one port is sub interface also. So this is a sub interface where you have to deploy this sub interface. How many sub interfaces we can configure? We can configure 2 raised to power 32 sub interfaces. That means we are allowed to create 4.2 billion sub interfaces. Okay, but here in this example, in this configuration, we just required only 2 sub interfaces. Okay, so what you have to do? Open the router. First, you have to say interface gig 0 by 0. Then you have to say no shutdown. So why I'm using no shutdown? To make your interface up. So once your interface is up, now split them into two parts. So interface gig 0 by 0 dot 10. Then you have to say encapsulation dot 1Q for VLAN 10. IP addresses 10.1.100 255 255 255.0. Exit. In the same manner, gig 0 by 0 dot 20 encapsulation dot 1Q for VLAN 20. IP address would be 10.1.2.100 255 285 285.0. Exit, do right. Now I have configured their gateways on router. You can verify it. Show IP root. So now you can see we have a routing table, and in that routing table we have a sub interfaces detail also. So let me clarify you. Show IP interface brief. So you can see this is my gig 0 by 0 interface. This is my interface, and this is my sub interface. So the IPs for the different VLANs, I have configured it on sub interfaces. Okay, so now your inter VLAN routing has been configured. Let's verify it. So go to the PC, go to desktop, command prompt, you have to say ping. First, try to communicate with our neighbor. So you are getting reply from the neighbor. Now try to communicate with the other neighbor, or you try to communicate with the gateway 10.1.1.100. Right? That means PC4 is reachable up to the router. Now try to communicate with the other. See, you are able to communicate with the VLAN 20 gateway as well. Now try to communicate with 2.1. So just wait for a while. First packet will be dropped, and you can see you are allowed to make communication between different VLANs. If you want 2.2, first packet again, it will be dropped, and now you are able to communicate. Let's verify it from the different angle also, on different VLAN 20 also. Go to the PC6, desktop, configuration, ping 10.1.1, 10.1.2.2. Yes, I'm getting reply from the neighbor. 100. Yes, I'm getting reply from the gateway as well. Let's see whether we are able to receive information. Yes, I'm able to communicate with PC4 as well. Let's PC5. Yes, we are able to communicate. So this is how we configure the inter VLAN routing. Okay, so this is how we configure the inter VLAN routing. So if you talk about in the live scenario, we have this kind of a scenario. We have this kind of a deployment in the live network as well. So in the max of the organization, we are using this concept. Okay, so this is inter VLAN routing with router on a stick, where we are using the router. But there's one more method, which is called SVI method. So this method is called, let me just write down over here, inter VLAN routing with router on a stick. Router on a stick. So this method is called inter VLAN routing with router on a stick. Now, second case, in that case, I'm going to use multi-layer switch. So this is my multi-layer switch. I'm using the same configuration, same IP addresses, each and everything, only a little bit difference in the configuration. So 1, 2, 3, 4 PCs. 1, 2 connectivity, 3 connectivity, 4 connectivity, desktop 10.1.1.1, 255, 255, 255.0, 10.1.1.100. Ten dot one dot one dot 255, 255, 255.0, 10.1.1.100. In the same manner, 10.1.2.1, 255, 255, 255.0, 10.1.2.100. desktop 10.1.2.2 255 255 255.0 10.1.2.100. Okay, so I have put the same IP addresses that I have put in the router on a stick. Go to the multi-layer switch, CLI, enable conft hostname L3 switch. So first we have to create VLAN 10, comma 20. Again, comma is not working over here. Then you have to say VLAN 20 exit. Now you have to say interface range F0 by 1 to 2, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10, exit interface F0 by 2, sorry, 3 to 4, and range is missing, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN to show VLAN 3. So let's verify. Yes, I have VLAN 10 and 20 ports are also allocated to them. Okay, so in this case, we don't require trunk port, we don't require sub interfaces concept. It's a straightforward. So you don't have to define any of the thing over here. Okay, now we are going to create SVI. So how to create? You have to say interface VLAN 10. Then you have to say IP address. What is my IP address? It's 10.1.1.100 255 255 255.0. Then you have to say no shutdown. In the same manner, interface VLAN 20 IP address is like 10.1.2.1 255.255.255.0. Then you have to say no shutdown exit. That's it. And do show IP root. Okay, I have made a mistake over here. So interface VLAN 20 IP address is 10.1.2.100 255 255 255.0. Then you have to say no shutdown exit. So now everything is done over here. So let's verify it. Desktop run, try to communicate 10.1.1.2. Yes, I'm able to communicate. Try to communicate with your gateway. Yes, I'm able to communicate with the gateway. Try to communicate with different gateway. Yes, and try to communicate with okay, I'm so sorry, IPs are not there. 10.1.2.1 255 255 255.0 10.1.2.100. Perfect. So I think first packet will be dropped, then it will be a perfect communication between them. Yes, if you want to communicate with different VLAN. So via this method, you are able to make communication between two different VLANs. So you can use a layer 3 device, or you can use multi-layer switch in between. So both are. So if you talk about live scenarios, so previously we are using concept of router on a stick, but nowadays we more prefer on the SVI. Okay, so we are more preferring on the concept of inter VLAN routing with SVI. Okay, so by along with this video, I'll share one document file also, in which you have a lot of questions. You will find the questions related to all the content. So you can go through all these things. If you find any kind of a issue or difficulty, you can write it to me. You can ping me on WhatsApp. Definitely, I'll help you out in that. Okay. So this is all for today. So just go through it. If you find any doubt, any questions regarding it, we will discuss in the next class.